knowing exactly what you should be doing, but somehow hours just pass by and nothing gets done. Yeah, I think we've all been there. But the good news is that you are not lazy and you are not broken, but you are caught in a mental loop that is silently killing your momentum. Welcome back to Living Fiercely, and I'm your host, Tiana DeRay. I coach ambitious entrepreneurs how to unlock fierce energy, unshakable confidence, and the mental sharpness that actually moves the needle. And today, we are going to talk about something that is silently destroying more dreams than failure ever will. And that is not fear, it is not lack of money, and it is not lack of talent. It is procrastination. And I don't mean just the, oh, I'll do it later kind. I mean the chronic habit of quitting even before you start. And you know what I'm talking about. The podcast that you never launched, the website that is still sitting in your draft, the offer that you said you'd post about, but you didn't, the message or the email that you've never sent. It's that pattern of thinking like maybe next week I'm gonna feel more ready. Well, I'll tell you something that might sting a little, and that is that you're not waiting to feel ready. You're just avoiding the discomfort of showing up messy. Because deep down, you're terrified of how it'll feel to give your all and not get the results you want right away. But guess what? You not showing up guarantees your failure. At least if you show up, you give yourself a damn shot. And let me make this brutally clear. Procrastination isn't a time problem. It is an identity problem. And I've talked about this in some of my previous episodes. You don't procrastinate because you have too much to do. You procrastinate because you don't fully see yourself as someone who finishes what they start. You don't fully believe that you are the kind of person who gets results. So you hesitate, and that hesitation turns into delay. That turns into weeks, then months. Then one day you look up and realize that you are still in the same place with the same ideas living in your head instead in your potential. And let me tell you the truth that you probably don't want to hear. And that is that you will never feel ready. There will never be a day when all of the conditions are perfect. The confidence is there. The clarity is there. Your mood is pumping. The money is stacked. Your schedule is open. And your hair looks great. That day does not exist. Winners start before they feel ready. They take the first step and then they build a confidence, not the other way around. If you're already nodding along the way, you know you've been putting off your next move. And this is your sign. I want you to hit that subscribe button. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone else who needs to hear this kick. And now back to the real talk. One of the most dangerous lies that you can't believe is that you are lazy. You are not lazy. You're just addicted to avoiding discomfort. And that's not the same thing. Procrastination is your nervous system trying to keep you safe, because if you don't take the leap, you can't fail. If you don't start the thing, you can't fail at it. If you never give it 100%, then you get to keep the fantasy alive that maybe you could have been great if you tried. But here's the brutal truth. You are not scared of failing. You're scared of seeing who you really are when you try. And that's the fear. And that fear is costing you everything. So you need to flip the script. What if trying and falling on your face is exactly what you need? What if the path to mastery requires you to look awkward, inconsistent, and imperfect at first? What if every person you admire did exactly that and just didn't stop? Because listen, nobody posts their 17 drafts, their shaky first video, or their launch that flopped. People will show you only their highlight reels, but I promise you, everyone that you follow or admire was bad before they became good. They were messy before they were masterful. You just don't see it, and you think that you're behind. But here's a shift. Stop trying to build your identity with perfection and try building it with movement. You don't need to be the best right away. You just need to be the one who keeps moving. Every day you delay, you train your brain to associate pressure with paralysis. You teach yourself that pressure means pause, but high performers, they flip it. They flip pressure into movement, doubt into action, fear into a signal to lean in. And that is the rewire. So let's be real for a second. You say you want success. You say you want to make this amount of money. You say you want to be known, that you want to make an impact, but every time you procrastinate, you are lying to yourself, because people who really want those things, they move even when they're scared, even when it's messy, even when they're tired, even when no one is clapping. Success isn't a mood, it's a decision. So you see, you decide. You have to decide. I'm the type of person who does what I say I'll do. Not when it's perfect, but because I made the commitment. And I want to give you a simple framework right now to break this cycle today. First step, you need to decide on your identity. I want you to say it out loud. I'm a finisher. I move even when I don't feel ready. Second, you need to shrink the task. Shrinking the task is not about doing less. It's about making the next action so specific that your brain just cannot say no. I'll give you an example. Don't say, I'm going to record a YouTube video, if YouTube is your thing. You're going to pick one idea, write 3 bullet points, open your camera, and talk through them for 30 seconds. Or if YouTube is not your thing, don't say, I'm going to create an offer. It's very broad. Say, I'm going to list 3 big problems that my clients have. So you get the idea. Break the big task into smaller actionable tasks. Number 3, you need to attach it to a pain. So ask yourself, what will it cost me to delay this another week, another month, or even worse, another year? Be honest, feel the pain. Number 4, stack your wins. Momentum doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. One small action triggers belief. Belief triggers movement. Movement creates outcomes. You're not trying to stop procrastinating. You're becoming the person who no longer aligns with it. And finally, I want to leave you with this. Stop asking for signs. Stop waiting for the motivation to strike. Stop building castles in your head and calling it a vision. Success is built in the doing. If you've been looking for clarity, this is it. You are not confused. You are just avoiding. And guess what? You don't need a new planner. You don't need another course. You just need execution. That's it. And hey, if this episode gave you the fire you needed to do something bold today, send this to the friend who talks big but moves slow. Or better, move big yourself. Tag me, share it, and show the world that you are done quitting before you start. You've got this. See you in the next episode.